Today's video is sponsored by Kunai Threads. Whether it's a Blackbeard playmat, a Shanks shirt, or even a Doflamingo pickleball set, they've got you covered. Use code JohnnyTCG and hit the link in my bio to get 5% off your entire order. Thank you, Kunai Threads, for sponsoring this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Johnny TCG video. I'm Johnny TCG. I'm excited to see you here today, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Starter Deck 4 Kaido leader. Now, I just did a video on Starter Deck 4 Kaido, going in depth with my deck list and then doing a lot of games on the sim with it. I'll put it up on screen and put it in the comments down below. You're going to want to check out that leader if you want a deep deck breakdown and some more of my thoughts on the list. Today, we're just going to be doing a best 2 out of 3 against a Red Purple Kid. That was a really interesting matchup. I love Red Purple Kid. I've done a lot of videos of him on the channel, and I thought this was a very unique matchup. These are both off-meta leaders that you don't see often, and so I thought, hey, let's showcase this deck even more. People love Starter Deck 4 Kaido. Let's show off some more games, and especially against a fun off-meta leader like Red Purple Kid. I made a couple of changes to my original deck list, but nothing really too crazy, just switching around some of the ratios. I cut out Hakai Ocean Sovereignty, and honestly, I don't really miss it that much. I do need to change the Black Maria blocker into something else, just another chump blocker, because there have been times where I've played both Black Marias at the same time, and then you can't use the 3-cost Black Maria's effect when this 2-cost Black Maria is on the field, so she needs to get changed for Tony Chopper or Nico Robin or another chump purple blocker. But for these games, I forgot to take her out, so that's what I'm working with. Of course, though, if you want to hear me yap more about this deck, check out the video in the description, in the comments. That one got a really good reception, and so I think you'll like it if you like this leader. Now, before we get into the gameplay, just one more thing. Today we do have a giveaway, and that giveaway is going to be for a custom Starter Deck 4 Kaido leader card. Throw it up on screen editor, boom. It uses art from the One Piece Treasure Cruise game. I am not the artist. I am not claiming to be the artist. I am not selling it. It is just a fun personal project of mine. If you want to win this Don, or cut that out, editor. If you want to win this custom leader for absolutely free, all you have to do is 1, leave a like, and 2, leave a comment. If this video gets 15 likes in the first 24 hours, I will choose a random US-based comment and send it to you completely free, no shipping charge. All you gotta do is 1, leave a like, and 2, leave a comment. It's as simple as that. And if you feel so inclined, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. It really helps out the channel. It really means the world to me, and yeah, you get to stay up to date with uploads so you never miss a Johnny TCG upload or a Johnny TCG giveaway. Sounds like a great deal. It's completely free, and yeah, how can you hate that? Alright, that's enough of me begging for subscribers. Editor, roll the gameplay. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. In the first game, we are going to choose the turn order, and we are going to go first. That first hand wasn't terrible, but you know we're always looking for Onigashima Island, so we mulligan. This next hand is not amazing, but not too bad either. We do have Onigashima Island, which we can play on turn 2. Then we have the Miss Off Sunday, which will ramp us again on turn 3. We really like that combo. And then we do have the 9-drop Kaido, which will be big in this matchup. We're going to swing 5 into their life. They're going to take that. Most Red Purple kids will take the early swings just so they no longer have that power debuff that happens when they're at 4 life or more. They're going to play on the 3-cost 5,000 power Eustace Captain Kid from OP09. This allows them to take the top of their life and ramp a Don. This is great for them. They no longer have to deal with the debuff. And now they ramped a Don as well, so they're going to be at 5 Don already on turn 2. They're going to swing at least 6,000 into us. They might use leader ability. They decide not to use leader ability, don't want to de-ramp the Don. We get the Gum Gum Jet Gatling trigger, which could be nice, but I don't think I really need it right here, and that's why I don't use it. I'd rather save that card for the counter later on. Now, we're going to give 1 Don to our leader Kaido, swing 6,000 at them. I wouldn't be surprised if they counter out of this, actually, just so they don't want to go too low in Don just yet. We're going to play down the Miss All Sunday, which allows us to ramp. Next turn, we will be at 10 Don, and we've got a lot of different options for us. We do draw the 6-cost Roronoa Zoro promo. If you follow me for a while, you know I love that card. I just love the 7,000 power banish. They're going to swing into us with their leader ability as they play down the 5-cost Eustace Captain Kid, which can ramp that Don back as active, and we're going to take that. We do get another 6-cost Zoro in our hand. We don't need 2, but we can always get rid of 1, and I think we will right here. Getting rid of 1 just for 1,000 of counter. They still have 3 Don left up. We are going to see the Charlotte pudding, so now when they use leader ability, they will get 2 Don back from that pudding and the Eustace Captain Kid. Now, I'm in a little bit of a weird spot. I would love to play down the Roronoa Zoro and then maybe Mr. Tube on Clay or a Black Maria so I can start popping off with leader ability. I think I just have to go with the 9-drop Kaido here, though. I don't think there's going to be any way for them to really remove it. And so I just got to establish the big body, even though I do have to go down a Don. We're going to play out the 9-drop Kaido, KO their 5-cost Eustace Captain Kid blocker, which is really convenient. Then we're going to swing 6,000 into their rested Eustace Captain Kid. I should have swung 5,000 with our Miss All Sunday first. Honestly, I'm considering not even swinging with the Miss All Sunday, just to keep it active and not giving them something to swing into. But we'll swing 5,000 into it. They will counter out with 2k, and then they're going to counter out with a 1k, and now we're going to swing 10,000 with Kaido into it. They got a ton of value, I guess, from that Eustace Captain Kid, maybe. It was kind of like a blocker, but they did have to give us a couple cards out of hand, which isn't ideal, but they did keep their life healthy, so I see where they're going with that. They are going to play down the 7-cost Eustace Captain Kid from Starter Deck 10. I love that card. I think it's definitely one of the most, not only underrated cards, but underrated card artworks. I think that card artwork is absolutely epic. They're going to play that down for 7 Don. They get to ramp it down with Pudding, and now they're going to swing 5,000 at us. Are they going to swing into the Miss All Sunday, or are they going to swing into our life? Miss All Sunday for 5,000. I'm thinking we save it. I'm going to trash the Mr. Tube on Clay to save it, but they probably will just swing big with their leader and use leader ability, and then I don't think it makes sense for me to save it then. Maybe I will, though. It is another swing that can help us apply pressure. I want to get rid of this Charlotte Pudding next turn, and yeah, they're actually going to go 7,000 or actually 9,000 when they use leader ability into our life. I don't think it makes sense to get rid of all the cards from my hand that it would require to counter out of that, so we'll just take it. Now we're going to start off with a 5,000 power swing from Miss All Sunday into Pudding, and they let it go. We've got 8 Don to work with, a little bit of an awkward number. I cannot do both Zoro and Black Maria this turn. If I was at 9, I could play both of them, and I feel like I'd be in a really good spot. I am debating between the 2 lines of play, but I am going to go towards the Zoro just so I can apply even more pressure next turn. They're going to counter out of a 7,000 power swing for my leader. They're going to take the 10,000 power swing from my Kaido, and then I will pass to them after playing the Zoro. I don't think they're going to have a way to deal with it, so it will be nice to put pressure on their life next turn, forcing them to counter. I can combine that with my leader ability and get 2 banishes in 1 turn, which is really strong. We will be at 10 Don, so I can play down another 9-cost Kaido or a 9-cost Charlotte Linlin. That Charlotte Linlin I absolutely love. Ever since it first released, I believe it was OP08, I've been a big fan of it. They do have the 10-cost Shanks, which is an insanely strong card. That's going to bring my power of all my characters down 1,000, which for the Zoro is a big deal. It's going from 7,000 to 1,000. 8,000 at us with their Eustace Captain Kid character, and now I have to start considering countering out of these. We're going to give them a 2k and then another 2k, the Usohachi and the Black Maria. They'll swing with their leader next, I presume. The question is, are they going to go into Miss All Sunday or Life? They're going to go into Miss All Sunday. Fortunately, I really wanted them to do that just so I could save my life a little bit. If they put pressure on Life, that would have been tough for me. We are going to counter out of that swing from Shanks into our Kaido. That might be a little bit of a greedy play, I'm not sure, just because I was able to get out of that, and keeping that Kaido alive is so important. Now I'm thinking about just going for game here, swinging big with Zoro, and then leader, and then potentially using our leader ability and trying to finish them off with 9-drop Kaido. We do have the Searcher event, and we're going to use that just to see if there was anything else we could possibly want. A Black Maria or maybe a Queen blocker. I think a Queen blocker would not be a bad idea here. We're just going to give a ton of Don to our Zoro and then swing big, hoping that they just have to take this banish and they do not get another card into their life or into their hand. We're going to give them 5 Don in total, which brings us to 11,000 power. They're going to have a couple of 2Ks, which they do not. They take that hit. I'm trying to think whether or not it makes more sense to use leader ability first or to swing big with my Kaido leader with the remaining Don. I decide to use leader ability first and then just throw it all the remaining Don on my Kaido 9-cost. Swing for 12,000. I doubt they have this, and they do not. GG's. Let's get another one in. This is a really fun matchup. Our opponent chooses the turn order this time. They are going to choose to go first. I think Eustace Captain Kid prefers to go first, so that makes a lot of sense. And of course, we do not prefer to go second, though it's not the end of the world for us. We are going to mulligan our first hand, and we get a much worse hand. We did have that 1-cost Event Searcher in our first hand, which we could have used to hopefully find Onigashima Island, so that's a little bit of an L on my part. For 3 Don, they're going to play down that OP09 Eustace Captain Kid again, ramp a Don, take a top life, and swing 5,000 at us. We should just take this, no point in countering out so early. And we do get the 1-cost Searcher event trigger, which is very nice. Unfortunately, we do not find Onigashima Island though, and so we take the 9-cost Linlin, which is still a great card. But of course, I'm trying to get Onigashima Island early on in the game. We're going to do a 7,000 power swing into their leader and then just do a 2-cost Black Maria blocker. I actually forgot to take that card out of this deck. I should have switched it for another low-cost chump blocker like Tony Chopper or Nico Robin, just because there are going to be times where you could possibly forget that the other Black Maria's ability does not work when the 2-cost Black Maria is on the field, and you do not want to be in that position, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to counter out of the first 5,000 power swing. They're going to play another 3-cost 5,000 power OP09 Eustace Captain Kid, and now they're just going to swing 5,000 at us with their leader. They're not going to use leader ability here, and I'm actually considering taking this one as well. I have a couple of 2Ks in my hand, and I think that 7-cost Sanji will come in handy, so I'd prefer not to get rid of it. We get the 9-cost Lilin out of our life, which I don't think is the most ideal card to get right now. Now they're going to play down the Kidding Killer, and I will just give them the 1K counter for Sanji. Want to keep those 2Ks in my hand. Now, I do not have any great plays this turn. I'm going to do the 1-cost Event Searcher, and Queen is my only option to take. Now, I really want to get this Kidding Killer off the board, because if they pressure my life and get me down to 2, that Kidding Killer will go to 7,000 power. So we're just going to do a 7,000 power swing with our leader. I'm leaving 3 Don open for a Black Maria play. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've been paying attention, you know that you cannot use Black Maria 3-cost when you have a 2-cost Black Maria on the field. So I just missed a major opportunity to ramp. That is really going to hurt me. That would have been huge if I was able to ramp there. And so now I'm in a little bit of a rough spot. I can use my Black Maria blocker this turn and allow that to die so that I can use hopefully my 3-cost Black Maria this following turn, but that's still not where we want to be. Because we haven't been able to ramp, we are only going to be at 8 Don, which means no 9-cost Linlin, no 9-cost Kaido. If we were able to get those out early, we'd be in a great spot, but unfortunately we can't. They're going to start off with a 7,000 power swing from their Eustace Captain Kid leader. We're going to block with Black Maria. We're going to block with it just because we want to get some value out of it. A 2-cost blocker is easy to get rid of, and we need that off the board so our 3-cost Black Maria can put in work. They're going to play down the 3-cost Wire. Now they're going to throw 3 Don on their Eustace Captain Kid 3-drop and swing 8,000 at us. We will not counter out of that. We will get the Miss All Sunday trigger, so we get to play that out for 1 Don. And then we're actually going to take the other 8,000 swing from their other Captain Kid 3-cost, and that feels bad. Maybe I should have countered out of that. I don't have a lot of option this turn. I'm going to go with the 5-cost Queen blocker, draw 2, trash 1. We're going to trash that Charlotte Linlin. We don't have a ton of counter in hand, and that's a little bit scary. I should just try to clear their board right here. I'm going to use Black Maria's effect just because I want to play out the 2-cost Black Maria blocker as well this turn, and so I need to use Black Maria's effect before I play out the other blocker. We're going to swing 5,000 into one of their rested kids. They counter out of that. Now 5,000 with our Kaido leader. They're going to counter out of that. That's not surprising. And then we're going to play down the 2-cost Black Maria chump blocker. We are definitely going to block with her this turn. Make sure she's off the board next turn, and just hope for the best. If they have anything that can rest my blockers, I will be in an awkward spot. A killer that restands their leader would be very bad for us. A 7-cost Sanji that rests our Queen or Black Maria would also be very bad for us. They're going to start off with a 7,000 power swing from one of their kids. In hindsight, I think I should have blocked with Black Maria or countered out of that. I took it just trying to be a little bit greedy, see what I can get out of life, but I got a 10-cost Kaido that does not have any counter, so that is not very helpful at all. 8 Don for them left to work with. They might just be able to have the numbers if they divide their Don right. They do have the Hitokiri Kamazo, which I was not expecting, even though I should have considered it, because I do see that they're running it in their deck. Now when they return a Don to their Don deck using their Punk Rotten event to give their leader plus 5,000, they're also able to KO my 2-cost Black Maria, meaning I got no value out of it. I knew I should have blocked with it on the first attack. Now they've got a 5,000 plus power leader, so now they're at 10,000. They've got 2 Don left to work with. They're going to swing 10,000, or are they going to use leader ability 2? 12,000 into our life. We can just barely not counter out of that, so we're going to have to block with Queen. This feels very bad. So we just got to let the queen go. Now they might just swing 7,000 with the Eustace Captain Kidd, and we can get out of this. I don't think we'll be able to survive another turn after this, so I think we just have to go for lethal here. Maybe a Charlotte Lin play could be the move. I think, though, we're just going to play 9-drop Kaido and try to rush them down. It's our only option, it seems. We're going to be able to play down the 9-drop Kaido, return a bunch of Dawn, pop their heat blocker, and now we can use Black Maria to get that Dawn back. We're going to use leader ability to trash the top card of their life. And now I've got 3 swings and 2 of them have to go through. We're going to start off with a 5,000 swing from our Miss All Sunday. They do have the 1K counter for that. Now they've got 3 cards in hand. Do they have the 2K? Do they have the 2K? Let's see it. Let's see it. And they do. They are able to get out of that. Now I hesitate to swing just because I'm like, oh crap, it's kind of over. Is even a point of swinging, and there's not. So I'm just going to concede. They didn't have the Shanks in hand, and their Eustace Captain Kidd from Life has no counter. So all I was 1,000 counter short, or I guess 2,000 counter short, 1 card short basically. If that Kaido swing, leader Kaido swing would have went through, then we would have won it. Tough luck, but we've got another game, best 2 out of 3. Let's see what happens this time. We are going to be choosing the turn order, and I'm going to choose to go first. We see that Onigashima Island in our hand, and we absolutely love that. 5-cost Eustace Captain Kidd will be great to pair with our leader ability as well, and then that 9-cost Linlin can put in work later on in the game. For 1 down, they're going to play down the Killer Searcher and draw the Wire from starter deck 10. Nothing crazy there. We're going to swing 5,000 with our leader. They're going to take that, and then we play Onigashima Island and ramp a Dawn. Passing it back to them, 4 Dawn to work with. They do play out the Charlotte Pudding for 3 Dawn. This means they're going to be able to get a Dawn back as rested whenever they use the leader ability. They're going to swing 7,000 at us, and we're just going to take this. We get the 7-cost 7-cost Sanji, which could be useful later on in the game. We're going to start off with a 6,000 power swing from our leader into their life. It feels like they got a ton of cards in hand, so we'll see if they take this or not. They're debating on it. They're taking a minute, and they will take that. No trigger, which is good for us. Then we're going to ramp it down using Onigashima Island and play down our Eustace Captain Kidd blocker for 5 Dawn. They've got 6 Dawn to work with, and they're going to copy my whole flow by playing down a 5-cost Eustace Kidd blocker as well. They can swing with leader ability, and not only are they going to get 1 Dawn back from Eustace Captain Kidd, they're going to get another one from Pudding, so they actually ramp there. We are going to take that hit as well, and we get the 10-drop Kaido, which could be very strong in this matchup. 10-drop Kaido is super situational, but when you get to use him properly, boy, does it feel good. 6,000 at us with Charlotte Pudding. Now I'm debating on if I should potentially block and then counter, or I just counter with Usohachi 2K. Now we're at 9 Dawn, and I think we're going to use the 9-cost Linlin. I think that's best for us. We're going to trash the Miss All Sunday, gain a life, put their Eustace Captain Kidd blocker at the bottom of their deck. We get to ramp a Dawn as active with our Eustace Captain Kidd's ability, and then we're going to swing 6,000 into the Charlotte Pudding. They'd have to give us a 2K, 1K if they want to keep that alive, and they decide not to. Now I'm thinking about swinging with our Eustace Captain Kidd blocker just to get some value out of it and put some pressure on their life. I decide not to just because since I put their Kidd blocker at the bottom of their life, they're now back to 4 life, which means they're minus 1,000 power on their turn, which is annoying for them. I think they probably would have taken the hit, so I decide not to swing. For 3 down, they're going to play down the Wire blocker from starter deck 10. They do have a lot of cards in hand, and then they're going to swing 6,000 with their leader using leader ability to get up to 6,000 power. They will trash a 10-cost Shanks from their hand, which is interesting. I wonder if that means that they have another one in there. Most likely that is the case. Then for 3 Dawn, they have a Heat from starter deck 10 and another Wire from starter deck 10. They are really kind of setting up a wall there of smaller characters, 2 of them being blockers, which will be annoying to deal with. Now I think I'm going to do 7-cost Sanji. I'll be able to rest their Heat. I could rest a blocker, but I think resting Heat makes the most sense just because that will be a viable threat to swing into me next turn. And now I'm feeling pretty good about my position. We're going to start off with a 7,000 swing into the Heat. I was kind of expecting them to block this or counter out of this, and they're just going to let the Heat go. So that's good for us. We're going to swing 7,000 now into their life. They will take that as well. We're going to swing 9,000 with our Charlotte Linlin. They'll probably take this or they just block. And then we've got the 2-cost Black Maria chump blocker, which we'll put up. That would be nice if we could find the 3-cost Black Maria so that we can start using leader ability. I don't feel comfortable using it right now just because without that Black Maria, it will be a long way back to 10 Dawn. They're going to play down the 10 cost Shanks because now they're at 10 Don, and that is going to be a pain in the butt. I might have to play the 10 drop Kaido next turn just for the whole purpose of getting rid of that 10 cost Shanks, because you're not going to be able to get rid of it by swinging into it. 7,000 into our Sanji with their leader. I'm really considering countering out of this by using both of my 0 cost events and just keeping the 10 cost Kaido in my hand. The reason I want to do that instead of block with my Black Maria is I have a feeling they're going to swing the Shanks into the Charlotte Linlin, and I want to use the Black Maria for that. Of course, I could also use the Eustace Captain Kid blocker to get out of it, but I would like the Eustace Captain Kid blocker to swing into their life and put more pressure on them next turn, so that's why I kind of hesitate. Maybe I should have just used the Captain Kid blocker and the Black Maria blocker and not thought so hard about it, but I think my logic makes a little bit of sense. Let me know if you would have done it differently. It does feel kind of bad to get rid of 2 0 cost events. I do just decide to let it go. So that was my decision in the end, is just let it go, not save it. So I don't feel too bad about that play. The reason also is that it was just going to get popped by Kaido next turn. So yeah, I guess it technically would have made more sense for me to block with the Eustace Captain Kid. That would have gave me an extra 1,000 in power, but so be it. A little bit of a misplay there. I think it was just kind of like an awkward situation. We're going to swing 5,000 with our Eustace Captain Kid. They 1k out of that. Now 5,000 with our leader. They probably know what's coming. They're actually going to take that 5,000 swing, which I find surprising. Now an 8,000 power swing with our Charlotte Linlin. And it's going to feel bad to KO our Charlotte Linlin and our Eustace Captain Kid, but we got to do what we got to do with our 10 drop beast Kaido, popping their 10 cost Shanks. That feels so good. They're not really going to have an answer for our 10 drop Kaido. They are at 10 Don though and could apply a lot of pressure. A 10 cost Shanks again would be annoying. A Monkey D Dragon, if they run that, would also be annoying. So we'll see. We still have 4 life cards because we did heal with that Charlotte Linlin, which is very nice. They haven't really been able to put a lot of pressure on our life so far in this game, which is good. For 7 Don, they're going to play out another 7 cost starter deck 10 Eustace Captain Kid. This will buff their leader by plus 1,000, which will be a nice defensive buff. We don't really have any big monsters to play on our next turn, in our hand at least. We'll see what happens when we take this life, and we do get the 6 cost Zoro. That is a pretty good card and could help us go for game. We also do have the Black Maria, which could also just help us spam our leader ability, which I think makes a lot of sense as well. I'm debating right now what makes more sense, the Black Maria play or the Zoro play. I think the Black Maria play makes more sense. I can just swing big with my leader, use leader ability, and then Black Maria to put them down to 0 and actually go for game here. 9,000 at them with leader. They are at 6,000, so 2Ks would get them out of this swing. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. They are going to have the 2Ks, which lets them survive another turn. We're going to use Oni Island, and then we're going to use leader ability to trash 7 Don, or trash 7 Don, what the heck, to return 7 Don to our Don deck. We're going to use leader ability and trash the top card of their life. Then we're going to swing 12,000 with Kaido and put them at 0. We are in a really good spot here. They are at 10 Don, so they could pull some shenanigans and really pressure me, maybe try to get rid of Kaido, but I think we basically can't lose. We have a lot of counter in hand. We'll be able to keep this 10 drop Kaido alive, and as long as we have that, then I think we're good pretty much, unless they spam the board with blockers, but I'm not too worried about that. They're going to start off by resting 2 Don, returning 1 Don, and that's got to be for a 2 cost Punk Rotten, which gives them plus 5,000 to their leader. They might just throw all their Don on their leader and swing big into the Kaido, trying to get rid of it. I would not be surprised. They do have the 7 cost Eustace Captain Kid that can buff their leader again by 1,000, so we are going to see a big leader swing. 8,000 at our leader, and we are just going to take this and we get a 2k counter. Perfect timing. That's exactly what we want right now. The Uso Hachi could also pathetically help us rest one of their blockers if they do try to set one up. For 4 Don, they're going to play down a Kid and Killer, swing 7,000 at us, and we don't have to take this, but we will. Just for the heck of it, I think we're pretty safe here. For 4 Don, they have another Kid and Killer, and if my hand was bricked up, they would have a chance of winning this game, but alas, I have plenty of counter. I can counter out of that, and now they've got one more swing with their leader, but it does not really make a difference. They're going to be able to swing 13,000 at us. If they go into Kaido, I can counter out of this. It doesn't really matter, though, whether they went into Kaido or life. They concede. Those were some good games. Really fun to play 2 off-meta leaders. That's always kind of my favorite way to play the game for the most part. Just 2 off meta leaders, no crazy meta stuff. GG's. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the games I got for you today. What did you think about that matchup? Let me know in the comments if you did appreciate this off meta matchup. Kaido versus Red Purple Kid, best 2 out of 3 is not something you're gonna see on YouTube every day, and so if you like content like that, let me know. I'll definitely make more of it when I can. Of course, consider hitting that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. If you made it this far in the video though, you are a real one and I do appreciate you. That's all I got for you today. As you can see, it's dark out, it's very late, it's time for me to go to bed, so thanks for watching. Peace. And don't forget to subscribe.